to give a quick, shitting on my light on. I want to give a quick, welcome to Superhero Wednesday. This little fucking freak is half leaning on fucking bed and my fucking, sort your life out. What are you, we want to talk about fucking absolute fucking RKM. Hello, visuals. I'm assuming you're here forever. Welcome back to the channel. Oh, no, wait, he's gone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Superhero Wednesday, the day of the week we like to talk about all the cool, nerdy shit that... fucking, what the fuck is this? The cool, nerdy shit that's going down in the fucking world. Lego sets and Funko Pops and all that fun shit. But we are back for another comic book review. This time it's for Absolute Batman Arkham, and if you just look at that, ignore the million fingers. I'm not long in from work, and it was a very dirty day at work. But yeah, just look at the beautiful Arkham Asylum underneath there. We get lovely Absolute Batman, but Batman isn't our main focus point of this issue. Because I was in two minds when I did this video. I kind of don't want to go spoiler heavy, but I probably will, because I feel like I'm just going to undersell how fucking awesome this issue was and how dark and seductive. That's like, ooh, seductive. Fucked up is what I'm trying to say about this issue. It's mind-blowing. It's crazy. We get Amadeus Arkham's backstory. We get more look at this version of Absolute Joker and shit. Jack fucking whatever, fucking Jack Grimm. Just fuck me. It's fucking awesome. I'll quickly just summarize the overall story. So we have the origin of Amadeus Arkham, just talking about his time as a young boy and all this kind of shit. He's looking to sell on the facility, the hospital for the mentally fucked up and shit, the lunatics of Gotham. He's looking to sell on, and this mystery buyer comes in, and he starts talking about history and all this kind of stuff. And we get a deep dive into a horrible origin of Amadeus Arkham, from an incident involving his mum and his siblings, which again I'll show you and we'll get to a horrible fucking fire of burning down patients and workers at the facility and shit like that, only to be told of a big betrayal to Amadeus Arkham and a bit of a, oh my fucking god, it was you all along kind of story. But yeah, I'll flick through it. We'll go through it. I don't want to undersell this, because as well, this ends like, whoa, but spoilers, this is going to be a horrible review. I was so pumped. I read it twice to make sure I tried to give the best review I possibly could. So yeah, sit back, relax, and hear a fat, horrible, disgusting, dirty man ramble all about Arkham. Like I said, we start off with this little backstory of Amadeus writing in this journal, and this journal's being presented and just talking about his history and all this kind of shit. So we see the early days of Amadeus and all this kind of stuff. There's his journal down there. What's the opening line? So we've got, these are the writings of Dr. Amadeus Arkham. I always like the voice you get inside the Arkham Asylum game, where Mayor Quincy, and you're getting that sort of weird voiceover and all that kind of shit, and the mystery of Arkham and shit. I always have that sort of like Arkham Asylum game sort of narration playing in my head. So we get that, and we get this little look about him and him chatting away, and this mystery buyer coming in and having a look, and we see him down there asking Amadeus about this painting of a lady. Obviously, she's a very pretty lady. And he starts going to the backstory. Now, that was Amadeus Arkham's mum. Should I just call Amadeus his mum? And he's talking about one night, she thought she saw her husband coming home, and I think it was a civil, because what is this, 1885? No, yeah, that was 1945 when he's selling it. I think it's 1885 this year. I could be wrong. Year was the fucking, what the fucking year was? The Civil War sort of time period. I told you I was going to fucking butch this. There's a soldier coming back, and the mother sees him from out the window, and you see him like, oh, look, my husband's coming back, or all this kind of stuff. He's wearing blue, so I think that's the good guys, because we don't like the South, because they're racist and shit. But as she gets to the door, she sees that it's not her husband. She has this sort of ghastly look on her face of shock and horror and disbelief. Obviously, she's lost her husband. I think as well, there's a story about this particular battle that her husband lost her life in, was a battle after the day of the surrender of the South, or General Lee, whatever the fuck his name was, meaning that he died in a pointless battle, which is fucked. But she sees the man, she grabs him, she also grabs his gun, and she then goes on to kill and shoot him. Like, he's trying to console her as she's collapsing. She then turns to shoot him, but it's the page next to it as you get this fucking evilly menacing look of just chaos and her going nuts and killing all of Amadeus's siblings. But she didn't decide to kill him. And this leads him on to go on and think, right, I want to go and make a facility to help people like my mother that were insane, that were crazy. We go through this little montage of him finding his way, obviously being like an orphan boy, and then finding his way, working his way up the blueprints and the plans of building Arkham Asylum, where they would build it. They were a bit superstitious where they were going to build it, because it's like a place where there's like a lot of bodies and all this like, you know, horrible shit that's gone down there. So they thought it's going to be haunted stuff. And we get a nice little look at some of the faces of just the fucking crazy that are going to appear in here. And that's, this is him, Amadeus, telling this mystery buyer, the backstory of everything that's happened. And then we get a little look, he's telling him this story one night where this young child just randomly appeared. I think this must have been 18, it's at the top, sorry, 1885 there. And obviously, spoiler alert, we'll get to the end. This turns out to be absolute joker, but there's a twist there. And I think, if I remember correctly, did Alfred say his first reported sight was like 88 or 89, 1880? It's a few years after this. So this is, as it stands, the earliest sort of bit of info we've got of a sighting of this young child, this absolute joker. But he takes to the young boy, and the young boy starts to study from him, and he follows him around the asylum, and, you know, taking notes and learning all this kind of stuff. And Amadeus sees him as like a child, like a son, and that the kid seems to make it look like he's like a father figure to him. But there's this inmate that we get who's very reminiscent of the traditional Joker we're used to seeing and stuff. And the boy obviously takes a little bit of an interest to him and whatnot. But he's a lunatic, this bloke. He keeps, you know, getting out, and he keeps attacking the staff and all this kind of stuff. And we see him there. We see him grabbing the boy at one point and getting out of the cell and trying to stab him. The guards come in and start to beat him and all that kind of stuff. But there's this beautiful little phrase that Amadeus used to always say, and the boy starts repeating it to him. Tomorrow is a new page. Even the boy calls him father at that point as well. Tomorrow is a new page. You know, tomorrow is a new day. We could do what we've got to do and whatnot. And so like Amadeus is letting the man know, oh, I know who you are. I've done my history, my history on you. I know that you're a backer, and you've given a lot of donations, all this kind of stuff, and you've been helping us out. Because at the time, the asylum itself's kind of somewhat failing. They're getting less and less patients, and there's other facilities, more up to date, more modern, better technology, all this kind of stuff. And we get to a turning point where the mystery buyer says to Amadeus, like, I know about you, I've done the history. And he speaks about the night of the breakout, where all the inmates are released, and we get this carnage and chaos and death and despair and all this kind of shit. And there's a bit of a breakout, and there's obviously the staff members and all this kind of killed. And they get along the streets of Gotham, committing their own like murders and all this kind of shit. And we get the reveal of a Jack the Ripper. This universe is Jack the Ripper, which is always a fascinating story to go down and stuff. We get this kind of eerie, creepy picture of like a kind of like a wanted poster. So he's like, yeah, okay, right, you found out about that. And he shows the mystery buyer to this mysterious room where he keeps all these flyers of all these crimes that these inmates committed, because it's his like little room of guilt, and this is my fault and all this kind of stuff. So they kind of lewd on, and they go down to the boiler room, and they find up because the Amadeus says, I haven't been down there in years since the breakout and all this kind of stuff. And we find like, was that the bricked up wall where they got out? Yeah, it is. And we get this little mystery whispered into Amadeus's ear, which kind of, so we can see like the pain and misery and agony and stuff on his face. And we get this whole like, oh shit. So during that night after the buyers left, because he leaves, he says, I know my way out. He kind of come there just to sort of like fuck with him a bit. He leaves. And then Amadeus like sat there thinking, what was whispered to me, and what was said, and all this kind of shit. This can't be true. All this shit that's sitting with him and lingering with him. And he goes back down to the cellar, and he takes this teddy with him, which was belonged to the boy. Because obviously, after all this, when the escape that happened, he never saw the boy again. The boy just vanished. He thought one day he would come back, but he didn't. So he takes his little teddy down. I think I've just shown you the same sort of panels for ages. And he goes down, and he he starts to unbrick the wall and he discovers something. But before we see what's undiscovered, we see that he chucks the teddy into the furnace and then he brings it back out and decides to set fire to the facility to Arkham Asylum. I don't know why I'm laughing because this is fucked. It's laughing out of sheer shock, and we get this look of the patients and the staff members and all this kind of stuff just burning down in this absolute horror and shock and gore and carnage. And here is our lovely little mysterious buyer down here with a lovely grin on his face. What's the one say there? The man who laughs from the dark. And he's holding the journal. The journal he was Amadeus was hoping gets to the chief of Gotham City Police so they can stop this man. And then we get to the modern day Arkham, and we have this picture of the original facility burning down and stuff. The body behind the wall was actually what did he call him? Jack Doe. Was actually his body, and it's turned. Oh, it's there. I can show you it now. So we get to see modern day absolute Joker looking through, doing this stuff. A little flashback, a look, and it's the body. And if you can see on there, it's the note that says tomorrow is a new page with his body stabbed in his neck, a tooth. I think it's a toothbrush that's been turned into a shiv. And he's realised, oh shit, the whole time he didn't lead all this carnage and chaos and stuff. It was the young lad. It was the young lad that was pretending to be this innocent, helpless person that I've took in and seen as my own child and grew brought up and all this kind of stuff. It was him, and of course we see Amadeus burning down with his facility and shit. It's quite like eerily creepy that the fact that Absolute Joker has just this picture of it in the background. This absolute, it's like a weird kick in the teeth, like a weird sort of like big FU that he come in, he was took in as a small child, caused all this carnage, eventually a few years later coming back, causing the fire, because obviously by making Amadeus go a bit fucked, making it get burnt down, and just being like, yeah, it's just, I'll have a little victory painting of what I caused, all this carnage and chaos. But now we start to get some images of Batman, because we see a mysterious voice speaking to Absolute Joker about, like, hey, so what is this Batman? You know, he used to be a patient at Arkham. He thinks he's free, but he's not really. Are we just trying to toy with our food? What's happening? And Absolute Joker's like, nah, he's now not asked about him. He's not a problem. I could deal with that whenever I want. Just keep tabs on him and all that kind of shit. And we see Absolute Batman going through and, you know, stopping crimes and all this kind of shit, doing the stuff that he's got to do. But we get to a little page where Absolute Joker is like, there are a few people that I wouldn't mind introducing Batman to just before, you know, whatever I reveal myself and all this kind of shit. And we get, you ready for these names? So we get the names of Kurt Langstrom, we get Hugo Strange, Jonathan Crane, Basil Carlo, Jarvis Tech, and of course, Pamela Isley. I wonder what names they are then. Scarecrow, Man-Bat, so on and so forth. And we see a little release of Biome release, and we get Man-Bat, we get Clayface just ready to come out, and Absolute Joker there chilling. But on the page after that, who is this mystery voice that he's been speaking to? Oh, it's none other than this absolute Batman, this absolute universe Deathstroke, because he says, my Deathstroke. We did see a little bit about him. I think it was maybe, we got KGB reference. Was it like issue 11 or 12, a few issues back? But we get our first little official look at the absolute Deathstroke. Oh my God. So the plan is, I think I'm shouting at you lot. The plan is to release these lot and let them go carnage and havoc on Batman, see how he fests against them. We have had a little look at some of them. We've seen Isley and stuff. But because of how fucked up Bane's been in this world, Killer Croc's being a bit fucked up and mental and shit, the villains are like turned up to 1,000,000. They're scary. It's like a horror. And this just continues to be an amazing piece of just outstanding writing. It's just where Scott's Singler, Sky, his name will be somewhere. Scott Singler? So Scott Snyder, sorry. Fuck me. He's just doing a phenomenal, beautiful job at this absolute universe. And I cannot wait, because it's, what is it, issue 16 next? But yeah, Batman, absolute Batman, Arkham, Amadeus Arkham, early days of fucking Jack Doe, Jack the Ripper mystery, fucking Arkham Asylum burning down, these villains getting introduced. Fuck me. It was going to be a terrible review, but there we go. Continues it as well. If you like your wrestling, there's some AEW Dynamite there. Beautiful, amazing, 10 out of 10, jaw dropping. It felt like an eerie murder mystery Netflix documentary as you get to the end. A nice little twist, and well, I think it was not obvious, but like as soon as you get a few pages and you're like, oh, I know how this is gonna twist. Apart from the end. I'm thinking the trigger, the end. Beautiful, amazing, fucking outstanding visuals. If you haven't started collecting or reading yet, you're not too far behind. I recommend you get the Absolute Batman shit if you're going to do any of the Absolute stuff. But Absolute Batman, Arkham, billion out of 10. There is my review for it. There was a fucking nonsensical ramble bullshit. Let me know in the comments below how annoying I am. But apart from that, visuals, wow, I can't wait to just continue this story. But visuals, there we go. There we have it. Any thoughts and opinions? Anything that I might have missed? Because I probably did a shitty job there. Some bits that I've missed and stuff like that. I do apologise. But thank you so much for watching. You guys are the fucking best. And remember to always keep being you and keep on. Oh, I'm slinging out.